back, everyone. 40 in Tennessee podcast. It's me, Josh, here with Randy in Houston. This was we're going to be re-recording an episode because the audio didn't record on one of them, so we didn't find that out until it was too late. So we got a second chance at doing this one, guys. We can make it right. We can make it good, you know. Talking about the woo.
The woo.
I was telling him when you got up, Randy, like this was the one episode where like me and you kept getting off track, and Josh was like, "All right, guys, come back, come back." And I don't even remember what we were talking about, but
that's what I was. Me and Randy beforehand when we were chit chatting, we were talking about like what did we talk about on that? Telepathy and portals and shape shifting and
zaps probably.
Zaps, infrasound.
Yeah, infrasound.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the woo. And the thing about the woo is that it always eventually you gotta confront it. No matter what, it still comes for you.
If you don't confront it, it's going to confront you.
It does. That's a good way of putting it. And when I started this, I was like everyone is like, I'm not. That's some BS.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But the more you do this, the weirder it gets. The more you look for this stuff, the weirder it gets. But yeah. We already kind of did our talking, like opening chitter chatter. But everyone been sick in my house, and I'm just coming down from that. Have you guys gotten sick? You guys haven't gotten sick, though, right? No.
Not yet.
So far, no.
That's good. How's the weather down there?
Really nice.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's over today. We're back in the 40s for the next week, but
oh, okay. Well, it was nice while it lasted.
Yeah, no, it's always cold up here. I've been trying to think. I was I brought this up earlier, but I was rewatching Randy's episode on Hulu with him and Gatto. What's the name of that show? It's like
Smoky Mountain Terror.
Smoky Mountain Terror. Yeah, that's the name of the episode. Episode 7 of I think it's Out There Crimes of the Paranormal.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you can check out. It's Hulu original. It's good. It's a good series. It's good. Good episode.
See Randy animated.
Yeah. Janice Carter, who's also going to be one of our guests at the con, she's in that episode as well. Oh, did we lose Randy?
I think he just froze for a second. He's resetting.
Gotcha.
There it goes.
You know, I could say there was a woo conspiracy. That's why the audio didn't record last time. You know? And see, we're already getting some weird stuff happening.
Yeah.
You know?
You had to get sick right before this episode.
See?
The woo is already strong.
The woo is already strong, yeah. Now, of course, we always say, like, I'm not discounting anybody's, like, encounters or their experiences and stuff, but, like, you always end up at the woo. It does. It just happens because this is a weird subject. This is a super weird subject. Where should we start with this?
I mean, Portals is the most popular, I guess.
Portals is the most popular. And that's the one that when I first heard that, I was like scoffed. I was like, are you serious? But I'm not that I can't sit here and say that, but not that I don't want to be like, not that I not believe it now. But I can see how people are getting to that conclusion of like, they see these things and then they fucking disappear. Being of someone who's always just heard them just out of fucking eye shot, you know?
Yeah.
But do we know when when did that theory come up? When did that Do we know when that started?
Not really. Not
When
that
did-
I know of.
when did you first hear it?
Well,
You've been
Dr.
doing this.
Matthew,
You've
what
been
was his
talking about
name?
this for a while. So
Dr. Matthew something or other.
Meldrum?
No,
No.
her name is completely escaping me. He talks about that his Bigfoot in California are actually like called the something or other, uh,
Oh, they have a name.
Zoltar or something or other,
Soul
and
food.
that there are
Like the
there are
fortune
people
teller?
from a there are people from a different dimensional plane,
Okay.
and that he's talked about that he's taken people out, and they have claimed to have seen portals open up. Uh, and but really the origin, you didn't really hear anything about portals until the Skywalker Ranch stuff started coming out. Skywalker, not Skywalker Ranch,
This is
Skinwalker.
fucking George Lucas over there with his lightsabers.
Skinwalker Ranch. But the
We're so nerdy that I didn't catch it. Like I was just going with it. I don't know if Josh did or anything. Like I knew what you was talking about.
Oh, I knew what he
Yeah.
was talking about too, but this makes it funny.
yeah. But at Skinwalker Ranch, like back in the 90s,
Yeah.
there was a group of scientists that they had, which I can't remember the name of them right now off the top of my head either.
They were a paranormal team, right? Wasn't that Bigelow Aerospace?
Bigelow, yeah, Bigelow paid for them to be up there.
Yeah.
The scientists claimed that they saw and caught on video supposedly, this light that was out in the middle of a field slowly get bigger and bigger and bigger and finally open up, and then it opened and they saw a furry man thing climb out of it. And then this light just went back down, shrunk back, and disappeared. So that's really when that came out back in the 90s on our bell.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you really started hearing about portals a lot more. I think that's the closest origin there was to the portal stories.
Skinwalker Ranch is a interesting place. Especially that like Robert Bigelow's like company like funded like a whole like was it 2 years or something like that?
I think it was like 4 years, I
4
believe.
years. He had a team out there for the like entirety of it. I think one of my favorite stories about from Skinwalker Ranch was like that same team. They kept hearing something fly over the roof at night.
Yeah.
And then they like at the same time, so eventually they pointed the cameras up, and then like every night at like 3 something, like an old 1950s fucking refrigerator would just shoot over the house. Like it would appear, shoot over the house, and then just like like.
Yeah.
And I feel like if this is a simulation, like Skinwalker Ranch is that like the testing zone, like it's testing all the weird fucking updates.
It's where there's a big glitch.
Yeah, it's all glitched out over there. Would you guys stay at how much? Would you stay at Skinwalker Ranch overnight?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know. I've heard some.
I was about to ask like how much it would take for us to go, but I think I would pay to go there.
Yeah, see that I was gonna ask how much money, but I know you two. Like I figured Randy would say I would just go. You though, I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I said my favorite story is always the dog that they said that they saw. They sit there and shot at the thing, and it just sit there and looked at
It was
them back
massive.
at them.
It was a huge dog. I had read a book. I was trying to find there was a book out. I think it's like Memoirs of Skinwalker Ranch or something like that. I don't know if I have to find the book again. But it's all the accounts from the original owners talking about the big dog and the big wolf or whatever it was. There are photos of that thing out on the internet, though. I thought.
What of the dog?
Yeah, but I
haven't seen
I
them.
don't know if those are legitimate fucking things. Of course.
Yeah.
I don't think they are.
Yeah. When are they gonna
We talked
release
about-
that stuff?
Right.
that should
We
be
talked
released.
about this. Sorry, I keep on interrupting.
No,
you.
go ahead.
No, we just talked about it last time where so this was probably over 10 years ago where Randy had a book on Skinwalker Ranch. And I remember like getting interested in this and reading
Oh
about
yeah.
it. And then in the last couple of years, we keep seeing like TV shows now and everybody's talking about it. But yeah, it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, that TV show. I'm not. I'm not wanting to talk shit. That show's a little ridiculous. Uh, yeah, but the stories they get told from what's happened there from that like paranormal team time in the 90s. Like that's the stuff I really want to see, like the reports on or videos or footage from like.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
put you on the spot. What is it that you don't like? Because I refuse to watch any of this stuff because it's like, again, when I see a lot of that stuff, even the network that it's on, it's like I know what I'm getting.
It was so there's like the geologist guy that comes in. He's like a geologist. He's like a blonde-headed dude. He's like a real southern guy. We're like, so what you're saying is there's skinwalkers on this ranch, you know? Like, then there's like the security guard who's named Dragon. They have like the farmhouse that has like a secret door, and then it's like this is the operation room, and it's like the most like 80s villain, like everything spray painted silver, like with all these monitors. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what is this?
it feels set up.
If it's like shooting the work, man. It's like they're fucking trying to take the wind out of it, you know, being like,
Yeah.
it's all a joke. Um, yeah, it's
That's how I
just.
thought about Curse of Oak Island, where again it was
Did they
interesting the
find it
first
yet?
couple of years. Yeah, every single episode is a cliffhanger, and then of course they've got to do something big at the end of the season to get you involved the next year. And it's like, guys, just dig. Like, and if it's not there, get out. You're wasting millions of dollars,
Okay,
literally.
but with that premise, what can we do down at McMiffville for a show? Do you think he's there? And go searching. Um,
For Confederate treasure.
yeah, there we go. We can go look for the Confederate lost Confederate gold. Yeah, out in the caves.
The cave underneath the farmers market's full of Confederate gold. That's why the Masons keep it, to themselves.
Hey, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
How do you know about that? So
I told you about that, right? Did I tell you about that?
you told me about your encounter in the card shop when you
Yeah,
brought it up.
yeah,
Have you
yeah,
told Houston that?
yeah. He knows. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, the guy acted all weird because you asked him about it.
yeah.
Do you want to tell it here?
No, it's all good. It's good.
You want to talk about like Air Force bases, but you don't want to talk about a local Mason lodge.
So basically, what happened was
Bully him.
there was a Mason that was coming to our friend Gar's card shop on a regular basis. A card shop like collectible card games,
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, stuff like that. And this guy got in really good with Gar, and I kept pestering Gar, like asking him about the cave. And there is a known cave, large cave room underneath McMinnville's Farmers Market. If you're ever at the McMinnville's Farmers Market, you'll notice the parking lot's kind of like a big
It's like a dome almost.
big
Yeah.
dome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you're on the top of that cave. It's huge cave room. The main entrance to it was caved in the 1960s by the city, because they said they didn't want homeless people living in it. It was down in Egypt Alley. But supposedly the Masons have a entrance in their basement, which is uptown, right near the farmers market, that goes down into the cave, and they have access to this big domed, roomed cave down there.
What are they doing?
And like, you will hear locally, talk about conspiracy theories. I have heard the local conspiracy theories from people that are like, oh, I know about the devil worship that goes on down in the cave,
Oh no.
and that they've sacrificed children down in the cave,
Oh dang.
and like all this crazy shit, right? Um, but Gar asked this guy once. He was like, just put him on the spot and was like, "Hey, what do you know about that cave that goes down that goes under the farmer's market?" And dude just kind of like opened his eyes and was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "The one that is down in the basement of the Mason Lodge." And he just like shut the fuck up, didn't say nothing, goes white, and then left. Never has come back. He's never come back since then. And dude was coming over there all the time, like buying cards and playing, and
Oh man.
so
Oh, you know what that means, right? Houston.
devil worship down in the caves.
You have to infiltrate, so you have to go join the Masons.
Have to join the Masons.
Yeah.
Houston, you surely have family that were Masons, right?
I have no clue. I don't. I know so little about that. I didn't even know you could just go join.
Well, one of the ways you got to join is to have a Mason
Family
offer
member.
to let you join.
Yeah. Another big part of woo that has really sparked a lot of controversy, I would say, is telepathy. Is that people are talking to the Squatch through telepathy. That the Squatch can, the wild man, the Squatch can use telepathy to
You
communicate.
just want to use the word?
I do not want to use that word. We have to break this cycle of bad naming conventions in this community.
This is true.
There is a word for it, and it's called telepathy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I have never experienced this, but a lot of people say they have. I know, Randy, we have brought up this on another. I think, did we talk about it? We talked about it on the episode that didn't actually record the audio.
Okay.
Was your encounter one of your encounters you had out on the trail at the primary site?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I've been up there. Where we go is about 2 miles out. It's of our primary site. It's to basically describe the site real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a multi creek bottom where all of these, I think last time I counted them, there was like 6 main springs in just this one area, and they all basically trickled, in together and make this little feeder stream.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where there's a lot of deer activity, where they come in there to drink water.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that's one of the reasons that our family of Sasquatch in the primary site is hanging out in that area, is because of the water and just all the animal abundance. If they wanted to hunt, anything like that. Plus it's far out. But I was out there, and I'd been out there for probably an hour or more, and I had gotten to the point where I just sat down. Nothing was happening. I sat down, and as I'm sitting there, I've got a GoPro in my head. There is this overwhelming, I don't know how else to explain it other than just say it how it kind of felt. This overwhelming feeling of just turn it off. Turn it off. So I literally, like, and I don't know how to explain it, like it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Like just out of nowhere, this turn it off. So I reached up and turned, pushed the little button on my head and turned it off. And when you turn the GoPro off, it makes a sound.
Yeah.
A couple of seconds after the something like ahead of me, and sounded like it was about 50 yards maybe, starts approaching and it takes like 3 or 4 big steps. You can hear them, the steps being made, and it stops. And I look out and I don't see anything. Um, and I literally say to the woods, I'm like, my eyes are pretty bad if you want to come closer. But nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I stood there for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Nothing else happened. So I reached up and before the 5 and 10 minutes was up, I reached up and turned the GoPro back on. But yeah, something approached right after I had this overwhelming sensation of turn it off.
Yeah. Now I remember when this incident happened because you called me that night.
Yeah.
And I remember you're like, I don't know how to tell you this. You're pretty hesitant to even be like, it fucking said something to me telepathically, but like, I mean, there have been people who've had the same type of experience, but like, I mean, it could have been just anything. You could just be you being like, what if I just, those instinct moments, being like, what if I just turn it off? It's like luck be had, But we had, I mean, when I first got into this with, looking with you for the big hairy man in the woods, when we first talked about like telepathy and shit, that people have heard that, I remember you saying, you're like, if you're out in the woods long enough and you're just by yourself out there, eventually you're going to be like, you're listening for something, being like, hello, hello. And then someone says hello back. You're like, oh shit, but it's only just you doing it. But,
That is only how many times has it happened to you? Because there's been others, right, where you felt like stuff is said.
There was one other time where I went up, this was on Cardwell Mountain, and I was poking around in an area that I'd never poked around in before. And I passed a cave called White Oak Cave, and like in a boulder field.
Yeah.
On the side of the mountain. And I got an overwhelming feeling of leave now. Like, and it was that time when I felt the turn it off, there was no like aggression to it. It was just this turn it off.
Like a nudge.
Yeah. But this time there was very much like an aggressive, which very much made me feel like this ain't me.
Yeah.
But it was like leave now. And like with emphasis. And I literally like it was so striking that when I heard it or when I felt it, I don't want to say heard it because again, it's not like a words really.
It was all like emotion.
It was more like an emotion, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so striking to me when it occurred that I called out to the woods because I talk to the woods all the freaking time. That I'm just looking around. I'll be gone shortly. To kind of let them know if it was one of them, like, hey, I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just snooping about, like an idiot. But it was in a boulder field, and I think about that sometimes now because of missing 411.
Yeah,
that's one of the big things of like people that go missing is they go missing in boulder fields.
I've been meaning to watch that documentary again. I remember I read like two of the books, the first 2 books. Have you ever watched that, Houston?
I've watched it. Yeah, I've not read the books. It's just the first one.
Yeah, the second documentaries, I think it's even freakier.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Yeah, it's way freakier. That has made me like very cautious about like when we're out there too. Like I hate when Randy's bigger than me, so he outstrides me a lot of the time, and he'll be way up ahead and he'll go around the corner, and the amount of times he gets out of eye line from me, and I like just start chugging along because I'm like, this is when it happens. This is when it happens. Like,
so the big thick arm comes out of the brush and
just I'm gone. You'll turn around and be like, where is he?
At this point, I'm more worried about like an invisible mollusk when
that's
I'm
okay.
out there. So.
That's and that's interesting because
Josh
like,
is never coming back to Tennessee.
no. The Montauk mollusk, um, that would explain a bunch of crap with some of those disappearances.
Yeah.
That would explain a whole bunch of stuff, but that also is so freaking freaky. Um, yeah, dang. See, I'm taking us off track now.
No, you're good. Have you, Randy? Have you had any more reportings or stuff turned into you about people having that same kind of
I've
experience?
I have a couple of people that I've talked to over the years that claim, the ones that have them, living on their properties or whatever. And though one woman claimed that she talked to them all the time, like claimed that she does,
Yeah.
uh, telepathically.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to that because it's like I said, until you
Yeah,
experience it.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
I've never had like, I mean, I don't know. I always feel excited when something happens when I'm usually um in that scenario. But like, I also feel like because you were down there a lot, it feels like it kind of more, if you're habituating the area a lot more and interacting with them a lot more, um, that's where it seems to be like the most, people who have them on their property, um, talk about like having a telepathic communication with them.
yeah, yeah.
So
People that are doing long term relations and stuff with them. Yeah,
yeah, which also like kind of ties into like what we were talking, which is infrasound, which has become kind of a newer theory with them over the past few years, right?
mm-hmm. Yep, yep.
Um, their ability to, is it tigers can do this?
They know tigers can do it. Big cats can do it. There's actually what they theorize, at least, is that they're using this infrasound, which is basically like it's at decibels we can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
But they produce it in such a dramatic effect that it can basically bewilder uh, prey. And there was a ranger, a park ranger in New Delhi, outside of New Delhi, India, who they actually filmed a few years back, and they're walking through this like big cane brush, and dude just suddenly stops and turns and starts and like goes into the cane brush, and then you see raw, and this
Oh,
tiger just jumps on top of it. But the thing was, is he stopped, turned right towards the tiger, and started to walk in towards the tiger, and then the tiger went after him.
dang.
And he said that he felt this warm sensation like go over him, and like so he was kind of like trying to see where the warmth was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they now theorize that like they will use this infrasound as a way of like bewildering or
Stunning their prey.
stunning their prey just for a second, long enough for them to pounce.
It sounds like some M. Night Shyamalan stuff there. What was
Okay.
the what was the movie where like everybody started killing themselves?
Oh, the happening.
Oh, the happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The trees, the plants. Spoilers.
Yeah.
It's the plants. No, I that was something that was when this kind of theory came out, was hearing that like in India where the tigers were, what they would like hit people with it, and people would just like take their clothes off and like sit
Yeah.
off on the side of the road and wait to get like just like give up.
And there's the Native Americans talk about a lot of times talk about that the big man, hairy man,
Mm-hmm.
has the ability to bewilder you and hypnotize you. And if you come in contact with it, sometimes like you'll forget what happened, and you'll be found wandering the mountainside, completely, oblivious to like who you are and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, what the hell are they talking about? And I wonder if it's not this infrasound that they're capable, if that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But if it is, they have a capability that we humans just do not have.
So what does a tiger have that can produce that? Like what does
It's
it?
just their diaphragm because they're so large.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And with a Sasquatch, you think it's something 7 foot, approaching 9 foot, tall.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have a similar, if not bigger, diaphragm. And if they can direct that, it's almost like, it's weirdly, if they're directing this infrasound at things at a target, nerd speak,
Yeah.
it's like they're casting spells.
Yeah, shooting befuddlements.
Yes.
Now, I remember we were out, it was Yumi and Gato, and we kept getting that low frequency. We were hearing the was coming like through
Yep.
us.
Yeah. And we were like 3 miles out.
Yeah, that was
middle of our primary area.
Yeah, that was the first time I had ever like experienced that. And the thing was like, there is an airfield nearby, but this was like it was coming like from just in front of us. It like
Yeah.
It felt like it wasn't something that was distant. That was the issue.
But the thing is we couldn't see where it was coming from.
No.
Because that's what we keep talking about. Like me in the footage that we have, Gato and you are like talking about, like Gato keeps asking you, he's like, "You hear that, right?" And you're like, "Yes, Gato, I hear it."
Yeah.
We all hear it. But none of the recording equipment picked it up at all.
Yeah. Yeah, we had 3 because we had like I usually run 2 redundants. I had the H1, the Zoom H1 going, and the H4 going, and then the camera audio didn't even pick it up. And usually I can rely on just like the onboard camera to pick up some of the like harder things. Sometimes it's wild. But like even in the audio files, like there is nothing in there. Like I was watching back through the footage, like maybe I was hoping in like the waveform I'd pick up like a spike or something like that, but just wasn't. Yeah, that was a really weird moment because it went on for a while.
Yeah, it went on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then it just kind of stopped. It didn't like fade away or anything. It just stopped.
And then there was the time that Randy says that you got zapped.
Oh yeah, you were with
I was
Gato.
on Cardwell Mountain. I was with Gato. We were actually tracing some wood knocks up the side of the mountain and came across this sinkhole. And this sinkhole was like, I mean, I think that they were using it to sleep in. That's my thought. But because it was just, this sinkhole was like, we would have never found it if we wasn't going straight up the mountain the way we were, following those wood knocks. But we got there to the sinkhole, and I'm on top of the sinkhole, and Gato starts going down into the sinkhole. And while I'm standing there on top of it, something happens, and dude, like it's like something took every bit of the energy out of my body all at once. Like just pulled it out.
Like grounded you?
Just grounded me completely. And I almost fell over into the sinkhole. And so Gato sees that I'm struggling and actually come back out and come back up there and help me back up the hill. And we actually sat down. They started knocking. They were still knocking. 2 of them were. And we sat down at these 2 trees, not probably 50 yards from that sinkhole, while they're knocking, and I had to knock out and pass out.
Oh my God.
And Gato was like awake the whole time. Like,
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's my nightmares is I remember when you told me this, but like that has always been when we've gone out, like something happens to you and then all of a sudden they're knocking around. I'm like, this is it. This is the end. Like,
So.
I mean, at that point, Gato should have asked him to help. Like, can you pick him up?
But yeah, and I remember when I finally woke up and when I walked off that mountain that day, that was a rough walk. Like even when I woke up, I was out for like 45 minutes straight. But when I woke up, like it was just felt like I still was completely spent.
Yeah. How long did you have to lay down for? Like how long?
Like 45 minutes.
45 minutes. And now,
that's how long Gato said I was out.
And then Did Gato say anything like what was happening while he was?
They said they knocked back and forth a couple of times, but that was it. Because we were on a ridge, like where we were.
Yeah,
They were on each side of this ridge, keeping up with us.
gotcha.
And it was them. They're knocking. We were following whenever we found that sinkhole. And then that I think the one zapped me per se. And if I would have fallen over in that sinkhole from where I was, man, I would have got seriously hurt.
Yeah,
Like it was a good little deep little sinkhole.
maybe
I didn't realize it was 45 minutes. I just thought you passed out for a couple minutes and woke back up.
No, it was like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Dang. Oh, that's terrifying. But that's nothing like that's happened to you when you've been out there by yourself, though. Thankfully, right?
No.
Have you ever had like?
Nope.
That's good. Well, I remember when we went and stayed in the cave, at the quarry, for that one trip. I remember there was you were like, oh, I used to come out here all the time and take naps out in the cave. I'd go hiking and stuff, and I was like, you. He goes, that was before all the Bigfoot stuff. And it's like now that you think back of the amount of times you were sitting in there sleeping.
Yeah.
Now, have we gotten reports like that in the local area that people have encountered that? Like infrasound?
Like zaps or whatever.
Yeah.
I've talked to a couple people over the years that claim they got zapped. When one of our guest speakers at the first year's Crypticon that we did, Wildman Crypticon, what is her name?
Is it Lori?
Yes, Lori Copeland Wade.
Mm.
She got zapped.
Oh.
Yeah, she. I don't know the details of it exactly, but I know that she was out. I think on one of their expeditions, the BFR expeditions, when it happened. I think.
Damn. I mean, it's a little bit newer of a theory. People have been coming up with it, but like, I know you guys have dealt with it, so it's like it's one of those weird things of like as like kind of these new theories of like, oh, what are they able to do and stuff comes out. It's funny how we've kind of experienced that. We've had like weird encounters. It's nice to have a name to it too, somewhat.
Yeah. I'm not sure who coined being zapped, but
yeah. I'm just curious who made the connection with like tigers can do it and stuff like that.
One of the people is Tim Kumbo Baker.
Oh,
he's one of the first guys that started talking about infrasound and stuff a lot. Used to work at NASA down at AEDC.
Yeah. It's wild. And that was I mean kind of at the last Crypticon you were talking with MK about what was that video footage with the
the Freeman footage.
The Freeman footage, yeah, from the 90s.
Freeman footage. He was doing enhancements on the Freeman footage, and I don't know what exactly he was doing at the time, but he basically put it through a lens, and it was almost monochromatic. It looked like, but it was showing these layers of the film, and like there's this one point where she stops the subject of that film and turns her head, kind of looks for a second at the person at Freeman himself.
Mm-hmm.
And when she does that, there's this weird, like you see this light kind of just like that from her chest. And I told MK, I'm like, did you maybe capture this thing doing a freaking infrasound blast?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not sure. MK. He's like, it's mysterious.
Yeah.
No one knows.
He's like, I'm not making any claims to anything.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is what I've kind of seen. Yeah. I mean, that'd be interesting. Yeah, depending on what what programs are MK has done this for a while. I don't know what like lenses and things he's running the footage through, but maybe depending on what spectrum he was able to like actually capture something cool like that out of the footage. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that footage though. It just see the Squatch open a portal and fucking jump through it.
What are we gonna do when that day happens? Like,
It's over at that point. Just like I mean, I don't even know. What would you do at that point? You can't tell anyone. Like, or you
I have to
can.
rethink a whole lot of what I've
Oh,
experienced.
same. Yeah, I'd have to rethink like my whole like idea and theory of what these things are. Because now I'm
Would
like,
we tell each other, or would you just be like, okay, Randy? Would you be like, I'm not going to tell Josh that I saw a portal, or would you share that?
I don't know. It depends. I would have to. It would have to occur to me to actually.
I would tell you guys, but I'd also be like, look, guys, this is fucking crazy. This sounds fucking wild.
The
Yeah.
context of how it occurred would matter a lot.
Yeah.
Like if it opened up and the Sasquatch looks over and kind of blinks at me like and then jumps through. No, I'm not telling anybody about that.
He did it on purpose to you. He did it on purpose. Yeah, because there's times it feels like they're just fucking with us. Like they know,
If I watched one like run into a tree and just disappear into a tree, the way that Ron Moorhead kind of suggests they can do,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I would take that.
Same.
Like
It's
that would
just
be
like-
some fairy shit.
I don't know this theory. Is it just like running into like Hogwarts, where it's like platform
Yeah.
9 and
Yeah.
3/4?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can basically use trees to just kind of get around.
Jump from one tree, like go into a tree and then peer out of another one.
They're still extra dimensional. They're just using trees instead of portals, basically.
Now,
I've not heard this.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now the other like when we talk about like how big these things can be, and like I had, the footage from my first encounter. The one thing that screwed me up about it was that I'm like, this thing's big, and I was like, I could not. It was right there. We could hear it right in front of us, but like you couldn't see it, and that really confused the hell out of me because I'm like, how is this thing so big and getting away? You know what I mean?
I think that's where a lot of it comes from.
Yeah.
Is these people, they cannot explain what they're seeing. They cannot explain that they saw this thing at one point and then it goes behind a tree and then like is hidden or something, whether it's going down on the ground, whether it's going up, it's whatever's going on. And like, yeah, they can't explain it. So it's like, oh, it must be portals.
Yeah.
I think we're a little bit too quick to.
No, I agree. That's why I like when I had my encounter in that footage. I mean, like that's why I like, because I didn't get any like physical form on the camera and nothing but audio, was just so like it messed me up because I was like, I know it's right there. Like I know it's there. I could sense it there. It's like, but you couldn't see the damn thing. And I'm of the camp though that like I'm like, I was in its home, I was in its yard, like it's home field advantage. It can get ahead of me, and like.
So going back though, would you be able to walk forward?
Yeah, I would have gone after it. I think like if I were to have an encounter like that again, I definitely would be. I think I would be way more aggressive and faster. To try to get something on camera, actually get something on camera. That's the big thing. And because we've talked about this, like, would you run after it, right? If you saw it. Yeah. But like I've actually thought about it at this point. If like I haven't seen it, but I can hear it. But actually, after having that like encounter myself and really thinking about it over like 10 years, I think I would kick myself in the ass if I didn't go after it.
You never know if you'd be that close again.
Exactly.
Or have that chance.
And there's something weird when I have the camera with me. Like, I really feel like sometimes when we've been out there, the reason why I'm not scared is because a lot of the time I'm looking through the screen.
Sure. Yeah.
And like kind of just popping up. So like in my head, I think I've been kind of being like, I think I disassociate when I'm out there. Like I got the camera on me and I got, I'm just kind of seeing everything through the camera lens.
You're like the guys that have to like follow Tom Cruise doing stunts. You just got to go to.
Yeah, I just got to do it too.
Hang outside of planes and jump over. Grand Canyon.
Yeah, who's the camera guy that's got to do it with them?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny.
Houston, that word over there that says explore, right?
Yeah.
Okay, not explode.
No. You can't even see it from the camera, but I've got stuff in front of it. So even from my point of view, it looks like it says explode. But we got
Oh, to say explore.
indie like a little shadow box and stuff. You've been in here, haven't you? Or
I have.
I don't know. I think so, maybe.
Do you play guitar?
in another life I did, but now I just
No more. You could play at
Yeah.
the con.
no, absolutely not.
You could play and Jacob could sing.
Yeah.
No, I did, like I said, probably about 10 years ago when I was at my best, and now more than anything, there's a couple that I'd like to collect that I really like. I mean, AC/DC
Yeah.
style guitar. I don't know if you know Angus Young,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
but
recognize
yeah,
that guitar.
and then Malcolm. That's kind of the closest that you can get to Malcolm's guitar,
That's
and
badass.
without paying like $3,000, and I'm not doing that. So I got the sound, but I ain't got the look.
I was gonna say we can have you come out. We should have you come play guitar for the Squatch.
No, we got Jacob for that. I don't know if you've met him or not.
Have I met Jacob? I don't know.
I don't think so. No.
He was at the con, but he's Jacob, man. I don't know.
He's an amazing singer.
Yeah.
Just bring out the acoustic and just do a little strumming for the.
He could. I mean, we've
Yeah.
talked about it before. It was just a matter of
Getting them to do it.
again if it's going to be too noisy to be there in the Bender Hall.
Oh, that yeah. No, I'm saying we take him to the primary site and have him play the guitar for the Squatch.
He only went out with us one time. As much as he talks about it, he's only went one time.
Oh, really?
Did he go to the primary site with us?
Yeah.
Did he? Okay.
Did anything happen when he was there?
I don't think so.
The thing I remember is Randy bent down and like petted this little furry spider, and it like that is Jacob's biggest phobia. And so I remember him just like looking up at me like, what the crap? While Randy is baby talking, this little looks like such a tarantula at me and Jacob.
I would have freaked out too. I'm like, stop, stop fucking with that shit. All right, what's another piece of the woo we can talk about? I mean, Portals is a big one, but
I'm trying to remember what we got into last time, but like again, we got off topic.
we
We
were
started
going
talking about dreams and all kinds of stuff.
That's true.
But I feel like that's another subject. We could talk about that for a whole episode.
Bigfoot dreams.
Bigfoot
Have you guys ever had Bigfoot dreams?
Okay, yeah. All right. I'm gonna tell you guys. I think I've definitely told you guys this at one point, but I'll tell it for here. But
The more I get to know Josh, it just feels like we're learning all of his fears. And stuff.
oh, dude, I have some fears. Yeah, you guys are learning what I don't. Going into caves freak me out now. Like there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you have passwords for doppelgangers, man.
You gotta have. Look, I'm fun.
No, for sure.
So, it was after. I want to say it was after the first big trip. I think it was like the next year leading up to coming down and staying in the quarry. I think that was the next one, right? It was like 6 months later I came down again. Well, leading up to that, I started really getting like these stress streams. And I had like a Sasquatch nightmare. So it was, like the best way to describe it was like on like we were definitely in like the park, like at the primary site, and there's a lot of like, the paved walkways, and it was me and Randy on that, and like the hills were kind of like the pathway was like rolling, and we were just kind of shooting the shit and talking, and we there's a good ending to this. So we're walking, and all of a sudden we notice basically like 3 Sasquatch on the hill in front of us, like further down the pathway, coming towards us, and like we like freak out, and like we kind of like as we come down like one of the little dips in the pathway, we like kind of go prone on there to like kind of break line of sight. Um, and we're kind of like, what I remember is just being like, what do we do? Like they're gonna walk up on us. Like, what the hell do we do? And I remember at that time I was like, I don't have my camera. I didn't have my equipment or anything like that, and I was like getting freaked out. And me and Randy, what eventually happened was like we just kind of like held each other, like this is the end, and I was like fucking scared, like, and then I like kind of like closed my eyes in the dream, and it was black, and I felt something breathing on me, and like it woke me up, and I woke up to my girlfriend breathing on me in the bed. So there was like this whole other level layer that happened during this dream. But it's not the only time I've had one of these like kind of weird squatch dreams leading up to coming down. A lot of the time it's me on a path or a like trail, and just up ahead as I come around the corner, there's one just fucking running up a ridge or up a hillside, and I get that like heart, your heart drops like moment. It like stutters from the shock of it in the dream. Um, and there's been a few times that like it's like a notable location that we've been to. But yeah, I've had like kind of these weird, like squatchy stress dreams before coming down to do stuff with you guys. It's kind of
That's them communicating with you, man. Right before you get here, that's their
dude,
mind speaking to you.
there's times it's like afterwards I'm like, geez, that was freaky. Like when it happens because it's very vivid. Um, and I like there's been times I'm like, please let that happen. Like it's just like it's one of those things like I think I need it to happen or something like that. Like I'm really anticipating working towards it. Like it happening to me and actually that encounter. Um yeah. Have you? Have you guys had that?
I
Yeah,
haven't, but Randy brought it up, so he's had to have had some.
oh yeah, I have Squatch dreams all the time. Like all the time.
What one has there been one that was like holy crap?
There was one dream that I had that I'm semi convinced that like there's Sasquatch living around this one old park campsite, just because I've had multiple dreams about Sasquatch being around that campsite, and I think it's like my brain's way
Nudging.
of being like, what's in that area, blah blah blah, so why wouldn't they be there?
One of the places I had like the dream and stuff like that when we were, I think it was this last year when we were driving around and we were out when the 3 of us went out kind of doing some filming. Um, it was like that location, you know what I mean? I was like, wow. I think I said something to you on the trail. I was like, man, this seems familiar.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
And that was from one of the dreams because I remember the trail kind of going up and there was kind of some like construction equipment and stuff. And there was like kind of like a dugout, like they had augured like the hillside a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I saw it like run up in the dream. But yeah, when we were out filming, I was like, man, this seems familiar. It was from that. Um, yeah, Houston, you got no stress dreams from the weird stuff you've encountered?
Not anything like that. Like I said, we could. I feel like we need one episode of just talking about like premonition dreams and stuff. That's what we got into last time, but
Oh, we did, yeah.
nothing that talks about or that I'm thinking about, Bigfoot or anything else.
Yeah.
Sorry to be the boring one.
No, it's fine. It's just like it's curious though. It's like it's not like I get them often. It's usually when I'm ramping up to come down to you guys though, to come down and do this. I kind of get it, and I don't know. I was doing the podcast again, doing this podcast, not again, doing this podcast, and actually like kind of talking about this stuff a lot. It's like, was it at the convention? We just mentioned her earlier from BRFO.
Lori
Lori?
Copeland Wade.
Yeah, Lori, at the end of the convention when we did the round table, and she was just like, "This is more of like therapy for all of us, to
Yeah.
talk about it and stuff, and actually like kind of have other people to talk to about it, because it's weird. I mean, it just gets stranger and stranger.
Yeah, the longer you do this, if you don't, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but like, it's like Joe Doyle says, like if you don't encounter this weirdness at some point, and you've been doing this for a long time, like what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like it's all over the place.
and in the beginning of this, in the beginning when I started doing all this stuff, it's just like I was like, okay, whatever, and then like here
Yeah, you
we
kind of
are.
poo-poo it because you're like, I'm looking for the stuff that fits
Yeah, yeah.
my pre-designed.
Then it just gets weird.
Yeah,
And who was it who says that? They're like, the longer you do this, the weirder it gets. Um,
I'm not sure.
it's a like someone. It's someone. It was a researcher. Um, yeah, the longer you do this, and the longer you look into it, the weirder it gets. The minute you think you got them figured out, they're gonna do something to fuck you up. Like they're gonna fuck up any thought process of like what it is. Um, yeah. I mean, I've thought about like. I mean, we've talked about it. Is like when you come face to face with one of these things. Like I think that's been like a mental prep I've been trying to do. And the first time I really didn't think about that until I was at Randy's, I think for that first trip or second trip or something, and we were in your apartment. Do you remember this? It was the folder that said monkey faces.
Yep.
And and Randy, I was just sitting there, we're going through footage and stuff, and he had all the folders up and on the TV, and I was like, "What is monkey faces?" And I opened it up, and it was just pictures of like orangutans and stuff. And he's like, I look at these to prepare myself," and I was like, "That's actually pretty smart," you know?
Yeah, some of them was like angry, gorillas and
Yeah,
yeah, stuff like that.
yeah, because I'm just waiting for him to pop out and fucking do this to me or something. And that
Then you can't tell anybody about it because they're going to think you're making it up.
exactly, and that's why I swear like they're doing it on purpose sometimes, you know.
It's getting to the weather where we can start going back out there. I thought about it today.
Yeah, springtime's coming. When is like the springtime for you guys down there? So, like early March or March time?
Yeah,
It's
March.
all over the place. Like I said, right now it felt like spring today. Like it was in the 60s. I mean, it was a good day, but sometimes we get like a late snow in March, but
Mm. Yeah, we're supposed
I
to be
think
getting,
we're coming out of it a little bit early.
yeah,
Climate change. Woo.
yeah. I feel like I gotta. I mean, I'll be down for the convention, of course. You guys got plans for any? You guys kind of want to like focus on this year for, like, which site?
I don't know. We ever had a plan, have we? It's just always like, hey,
No, we just
what we
kind of
got.
go
We
to.
just like
Yeah.
want to go out.
A lot of times it is like the night before or something. Definitely like with my job, it's like, hey, I may have off tomorrow, so
Yeah.
I just found out. Do you want to do anything? And a lot of it here recently has been like, oh, where can we film to get footage for the convention? So,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
which has led us to some pretty cool places.
Yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, you guys got. I like the surprise that's coming. I'm not saying anything on here.
I don't know what you're talking about. Do I guess or something or?
No, you know about it. You're just talking about
Okay,
it.
no,
I
no.
just don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to
I
reveal
get you.
anything. I don't
Yeah,
want to
I was
reveal.
thinking the last time me and Randy went out, I think we found like a brand new rock quarry that we didn't even know about.
Oh, really?
And
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's where my mind was. But yeah,
Oh, gotcha. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it has like probably a 5-6 acre lake on it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What the hell did you? How did you just
I don't know.
stumble
We
upon this?
just driving.
Because Houston's truck has one of those nifty, like
It's it's got a screen, and I put like Google Maps on there, and so when I'm driving, you have an aerial view of like what's around you.
Oh, okay.
We kind of just went up by like this ridge line, just trying to get like a good shot. I want to say probably wasn't corn at the time, but it was like a field of something growing, and we just tried to like hover with the drone right over it. And then as we was driving, I saw that there was like this what you could tell is a rock quarry if you've seen them on an aerial map, and I was like, well, let's go over here. So
Oh, dang.
Randy just jumped out and walked over there, and I flew the drone over him.
Nice.
Oh, cinematic.
I know. I like your drone footage. You got some of your earlier stuff that like you did with over the big sunflower seeds, the big sunflowers.
Yeah.
That was really cool with the mountain in the background.
Yeah, that was just an accident too. So
Happy little accidents, baby.
yeah.
Ah, yeah.
From my point of view, I'm I'm the other way where it's like this thing's starting to get far off, and I'm starting to get nervous, and like the drone's cutting in and out, and then when I get it back, it's beautiful. Like, well,
yeah.
no way of knowing what I was even pointing at. It was like fly home to base.
I'm waiting for that moment we you have that drone ready and you're able to chase a squatch with it. That's what I want.
You just see him swat it down.
Right
Just
at
turn
it.
around and chuck a rock and bam.
Oh, God.
He jumps like 26 feet and smacks it down.
I mean, there's been some cool drone footage. What was that one? I think it was a few years ago. Someone was just like over their back in the hunting area, and there was something walking. Do you guys know that one?
I know there was some footage of that a real estate agent got by accident. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but they were filming this house, in the middle of like the woods, all
Yeah,
up against the back of it. And as it goes up over the house and starts to go up over the woods, you see a trail, and walking that trail is some kind of big black something or other,
yeah,
and it looks way bigger than a human.
yeah. The one, I think it might be the same one. Maybe it was, maybe it's not, but it was over the tops of the trees, and then you just start seeing something like kind of comes like was under one of the trees, kind of like pops out, and then starts like you know through the woods,
Yeah,
and then
hoofing it.
yeah, you see like the drone guy like was just kind of hovering, and then you see him kind of jerk, like what the hell, like notice that there was someone there and starts following it. Um, that was like interesting footage. I mean, but it's just like a top down. It's so hard to decipher what the hell it
Yeah.
was. Um,
Mark had a drone back in the day, and one January there was snow on the ground even because we thought, hey, we've got the perfect,
yeah,
perfect circumstances. There's snow on the ground. We could find tracks. They'll stand out on the drone, and we got them knocking and got a drone up in the air. Oh, right over where they were knocking, you couldn't see anything in the footage.
fuckers.
And for a long time, I was like, can't believe I'm saying this. For a long time, I was like, well, it's too close. It's too far up. You just can't make them out. And now I'm just like, why can't you see something?
Yeah,
Like something. There should be something down there.
yeah,
Um,
That's where like infrared or something would be helpful.
yeah,
But that stuff is crazy expensive.
yeah.
I would love to go out more during like when snow's on the ground just to see what you can see then, but I don't think I'm ever actually going to do that.
I mean, I remember Randy has some great footage on. I mean, it's on the YouTube channel. I think it's Archie. It's not great footage, but you can. It's definitely something off in the distance on the primary site during like the winter time when you were out there because there's no foliage, but you can see something kind of like swaying
yeah.
back and forth and like kind of popping up and stuff. Is something big. Um, that was some pretty good footage.
I'm even surprised you do that, Randy, because you get cold before I do.
if I know they're going to be out there, man, like I don't care about the cold.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
mean,
was back. That was especially back then when that was going on. That was like prime. They were knocking all the time. We were hearing vocalizations up there, all kinds of stuff.
that's what I've wanted to hear. Like a real good vocalization. I've gotten like the samurai chatter, but like I've wanted to hear like a holler. Like I've heard like other people have gotten stuff. I've always wanted to hear
Yeah.
one of those. Just chasing that. I'm just chasing that high. Just fucking chasing that squatch high. I swear.
Are you gonna be able to come down before the convention or no?
I don't know at this point, but I'm gonna try to.
Yeah.
If I do, I'm gonna try to come down in like the springtime before the summer hits. But we'll play that by ear by now,
Yeah.
But yeah. So any more woo? Any more woo topics? We've been kind of all over the place, but
I think we hit most of them.
yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any more that I've heard. I mean, like portals and like shape shifting. Was shape shifting a one? That wasn't
I mean,
that one.
there's people that claim there's Native American tribes that claim that they can shapeshift.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, that falls into like a skinwalker
yeah.
at that point. Yeah, those are the primaries: telepathy, portals.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah,
Any other woo stuff. I mean,
yeah, that's like it. Tree walking.
tree walking. Yeah.
Tree walking. Well, any closing statements, my friends, for the evening?
That I can think of.
All right then.
We're all shot.
Huh? Yeah, we're all.
I think we're all shot.
Yeah. Well, that's the show for this week. To our audience, but if you have any encounters or any questions, please email us. If you want us, if there's a subject you like us to talk about, please send that to us. And also, we have the Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Convention coming up August 16th in McMinnville, Tennessee. This will be our third annual one. Randy, you just started releasing the guest list right now, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I know you. I think I just saw you announce Martin. Martin Groves will be there. Wonderful guests. We got a lot of cool guests actually coming. I'm excited for it.
We do.
Got some great vendors. But yeah.
Yeah. Mounting fast.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's always a good time. It's great having everyone down there. Yeah, you can find the event on Eventbrite, get tickets there. But also follow along on Facebook. Follow 40 in Tennessee there for updates and the such like that. And I think we'll probably be posting stuff here too on the YouTube channel. I know we did some of the advertisement stuff, commercial wise. Yeah.
Yep. Sounds like it.
All right, fellas. Have a good night. Peace out, everyone.
See y'all.